Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Payoff Pitch presented by Fantasy Phenom. I'm Kyle, that's Mike. We are here to break down today's 11-game main slate for MLB.
That's right. Happy Monday to you and to everyone that is watching us. Hope we make this a successful and profitable Monday.
Yeah, buddy, we got a new look mic in the building.
That's right. Very aerodynamic. I keep stroking my non-existent beard. It's weird. It feels cold.
I know the feeling.
Anyway, here I am.
I know the feeling. So we have
I just had a random...
Go ahead.
I just had a random thing. I just woke up and I don't know what came over me.
I always feel weird when I shave my beard off, but... We have every lineup in except for the Giants and the Dodgers. So what about Anthony Rendon yesterday, man?
That was the game of that dude's life, that's for sure. What was he, 6 for 6 with 3 homers or something?
And 10 RBIs.
Just kind of rubbed in the Mets' face. They just kind of shoved. He just took their face and just put it in the dirt and was just like, eat this and continue to chew.
And then... to find out that Noah Syndergaard has a what is it, a torn lat, something to that
extent. It's a partially torn lat.
Yeah.
So he's got some sort of muscle tissue that's inflamed, pretty much. It doesn't really mean that there's a tear all the way through the muscle. There's somewhere in the muscle fibers there's some sort of irritation. We'll see what happens, man. They haven't really put a timetable on it.
One thing I will say is no matter what you predict, you're probably more accurate than Noah Syndergaard's self-diagnosis at this point.
Yeah. What did he say was wrong with him?
He said that he knew his body better than anybody else, and that's why he denied getting an MRI, and management somehow let him get away with that.
I mean, I don't completely disagree with that statement, but yeah, I mean, when you're in face of a franchise, pretty much, you kind of have to do that.
Jason is a Mets fan, by the way.
Oh, yeah, so that comment about me throwing their face in the dirt and making them cheer. Yeah, sorry about that.
Dude, so I got to throw this out there because it's, again, just a testament to these sheets, man. Anthony Rendon, for what it's worth, was the second highest ranked national on the slate, only behind Bryce Harper, which makes sense. And on top of that, the Nationals were the highest ranked team to stack in terms of the numbers.
Right, so if you were looking at the numbers, you saw the stack, the Nats, and it pretty much told you that Rendon had to be a part of that stack. So, yeah, those of us in the community that use those numbers made some money, right?
Well, how about Jeremy?
That's what it's all about.
Jeremy.
Jeremy, our own Jeremy, man.
Took second place in a GPP, $500.
Filling up the pockets. And he come in the chat acting like he didn't even know what happened. Like, oh, I just won money. I'm like, come on.
Jeremy. Well, let's dive in here, man. I can tell you the chalk of the day is going to be, if you're not going Kershaw, it's going to be Severino.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the dude's having an unbelievable start of the year. I said it last time he started. There's no reason to fade him. And that was the thing, is people didn't play him last time he started. People were like, oh, this is the start. He's not going to do well. Yeah, well, that didn't work out. He went out in Boston and threw almost 8 scoreless, I'm pretty sure. So I think that turned a lot of heads, not only DFS-wise, but in Major League Baseball, that this guy's for real. To do that in Boston kind of shows some stones. What do you think?
Yeah, especially being that we know Boston doesn't strike out a ton, so.
Exactly. So, yeah, I'm going to fade it just because I fade the chalk, but it's technically there's some good chalk when you're talking about Severino today. It's just...
the K upside is there.
Yeah, and I don't know if I can say it's good chalk just because we don't have a really large sample size with him, you know? Yeah, he's playing really, really well this year, but we've seen stretches of him playing really not well, so... It's enough for me to fade.
So if you're gonna fade,
Mhm.
do you look at stacking against the chalk? I mean, who would you play on this Tampa side?
Yeah, I don't know. It pains me sort of to stack against Severino just because I've been watching him pitch a lot. So on this Tampa side, I think
Toronto.
that's a new. I mean, yeah, Toronto. I think you said Toronto side. Obviously, a new spot for Devin Travis. I think in the lineup there.
Yep, he's batting
It's
6.
interesting. You keep talking about Joey Bats due for a bomb. He's in Yankee Stadium now, so maybe that works out. But I do like Kendry Morales. I don't really have much Toronto, but I like what you're saying. If you did want to double dip, you definitely can get a bomb here. It's nice out here. It's almost probably 70 degrees at game time. So it's a good night in the Bronx for some fly balls.
Yeah, man. I'm not on Toronto, actually. I have quite a few different stacks. Well, I have 2 different stacks I'm playing with, but Toronto's not one of them. But I'm not opposed to stacking Toronto if you do it. On the other side,
Yep.
Marco Estrada, fly ball pitcher, gives up home runs in Yankee Stadium. So, Aaron Judge obviously comes to mind. Greg Bird, who hasn't been playing well, is cheap. If you want to take a flyer on a first baseman at that spot, obviously it's not necessarily the position in your lineup that you want to have a question mark. You want to nail first base. That and outfield, you typically want your power bats. But, I mean, you could look there. If you look at last year's numbers and if you think he's going to, get back to where he was.
I don't know. Greg Bird, though, he's just really not playing well. He doesn't look good at the plate. He's behind on fastballs. Estrada's had an above-average start to the season. He's coming off an injury of sorts. I don't know the details that surround that injury, but yeah, like you said, it's a nice night in the Bronx. I think you can go here. I like Didi today. I think he's a good one-off. He's been swinging the bat well since he got back. He looks confident. He got the big hit yesterday.
Yep.
Lefty-righty matchup in the 2-hole. I hope it works out.
All right. Baltimore and Boston. You have Dylan Bundy, his 3rd time already this year facing Boston. And then you have Rick Cy Young Porcello.
Poor man's Jello.
Poor man's Jello. Where do you look in this game in terms of stacks, in terms of pitching?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going stacks. I don't like Bundy. I don't know if I like either of these pitchers. I don't think I'm going either of these pitchers. So I guess we'll talk more about who to fade if you're going to fade Severino, but it's neither one of these guys in my opinion. Bundy's had a pretty good start to the season. If you look at his strikeout numbers, they're pretty nice. So he could be in that conversation. I just don't think in Boston is the way to go.
Does it worry you with the fact that Boston doesn't strike out?
Well, the Boston ranks 5th in strikeout percentage versus righties in the last 7 games. So there's that, but that's really not much to really look at. But no, it does worry me. That's why I'm not really going to go Dylan Bundy in Boston. He got not lit up, but did not look good in that start.
Yeah, I got no Bundy. Porcello, no Bundy. Porcello, I'm not on either.
I don't know. I'm interested in Machado today. Going back to Boston with all the news surrounding him, if you can afford him, I think in Boston with the monster there, I like him today.
He'll probably get beaned, so there is. He's already got beaned. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you can kind of guarantee 3 points.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be loose around the bats today, man. He's gonna be trying to get one.
Chris Davis, I think, is still an elite one-off.
He didn't play yesterday against the Yanks, which was strange. There really was no reason. I think it was somewhat of an injury concern. I don't have the news running that either, and that's kind of why I faded him. But I guess I should probably find that news since we're here live on the show. So let me see if I can figure out what that injury was, why he sat out a game.
Got you.
Either way, it's one game. So
yeah, on the Boston side, I do like Benintendi still. I like Mookie Betts. I think you can look at a Boston stack here. I like Moreland more than I like Hanley today. Jackie Bradley Jr. is in play, so I think there is a Boston stack to be made, especially with Dylan Bundy being a fly ball pitcher, and he doesn't strike out lefties at a very high clip.
Right. Sore right elbow.
Yeah.
Following a hit by pitch.
All right, Trevor Bauer and Daniel Norris on Cleveland and Detroit. So, No weather concerns here. It looks good. Wind is blowing in.
Don't talk much about temp. I think temp is a concern at 56 degrees.
Very much so.
But I think you can attack Daniel Norris here. I think what I've been going is E5, Jose Ramirez, who's red hot, and then I think you could take a punt on Brandon Geyer as well. That right there. Jose Ramirez is a switch hitter, by the way. I think he'll probably bat righty.
He should be batting righty.
So that might change the numbers.
It won't. No, it's still. These numbers are based on pitching or batting against the pitcher's hand
versus the lefty.
Yeah. It just the hand indication was wrong, but that is good to go.
Yeah, I like those 3 righties there for that stack. But again, I'm not too high on it with the temp. I'm putting more stock in that than I was originally.
No, absolutely. So we can talk about that for a second. Let me pull up those stats. So we got a ton of statistics on weather and how it affects performance. So under 40-degree weather, your home runs per at bat is .023. So 2% of your at bats result in home runs. If you bump the weather up to over 90 degrees, these are the extremes of it. Your home run is 3.5%. So almost a 2%, almost double.
It's like almost a 250% increase.
Yeah. With that 150%.
150. Yeah.
If you look at ISO this is 56, so this is going to be the ISO average over the last 15 years in temperatures between 50 and 60 degrees was 140.
It's not good.
Your ISO in temperatures over between 80 and 90 is 160, and your temperature at over 90 degrees is 170. So you talk about a huge difference. It's something that I think we're starting to focus on more and more, is how temperature affects balls batted.
It shouldn't be something you base your stacks upon. Like, that's something I looked at after I made my lineups and like kind of like help decide your exposure to things if you play multiple lineups. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be. It's a fringe statistic that should be considered, but it shouldn't be at the forefront of your lineup construction process. Would you agree?
Exactly. It's a kind of like a tiebreaker almost.
You shouldn't look, it's 50 degrees in Detroit, I'm fading this whole game. That's not how you should do that.
Good hitters are good hitters. It's just if you have, 2 great hitters and you're trying to figure out which one you want to fade, I think you can make the tiebreaker based on temperature after everything else equal. Everything else equal.
But you can attack Daniel Norris. He is allowing a hard contact percentage of 41.9% this year, which is good.
For hitters.
Good for hitters. Good for hitters. Also walking 11% of his batters, which doesn't really help for DFS, but just shows his lack of control to start the season.
What's up, Dewey? What's up, Antoine? Welcome to the show, guys. Do you think Trevor Bauer is someone you can attack with? Both these guys are fly ball pitchers. There is that. This park clearly favors right-handed hitting to lefties. So that makes me lean more to the Cleveland side here. Francisco Lindor should also bat right-handed.
Here's an interesting stat on Trevor Bauer. We talk about luck factors in baseball and how they're not really talked about enough. If you look at the player's left on base percentage, it's only at 62.5%, meaning that only 62.5% of people he puts on base get left, which is way below average. I think average is around 72, 76.
Yeah. Which
means that a lot of the people he's putting on are coming around to score above average rate, and then he's got a BABIP against him of 328.
So explain to that again. I was gonna say, explain to that. Is that good or bad?
But that's showing that the guy has been unlucky. That those two numbers over the course of many years of baseball have regressed to a mean, have shown the regression to a mean over the course of time.
Yep.
So it shows that earlier on this year he's been getting unlucky. So it's interesting. Again, not something that I would base my entire lineup building on, but something to consider. So, which means you could be getting him at a discount today against a Detroit team who's been playing pretty well. I'm not gonna lie, but looks like their lineup got a little shaken up today. So I don't know. He's interesting. He's right next to Severino in price, so he'd be a contrarian play.
He does have strikeout potential, so there is that. I don't think I played Trevor Bauer today. I personally didn't look at him. I didn't go to him at all. And then Daniel Norris, I'm not looking at all. Daniel Norris is a complete fade for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to attack Norris, and I don't really like much in this lineup against Bauer. I think Avila is interesting as a catcher punt on DraftKings with his price. You can make the case for, I don't know. I don't really look much here, to be honest. So yeah, again, I think Bauer could be a contrarian play if the chalk is Severino based on pricing.
If I were to stack Detroit, by the way, I would go Martinez and Upton. Maybe Avila again. I can get behind that 3 right there.
That's what I was saying. I think I have Avila somewhere as a one-off.
Pittsburgh and Cincy. This is an intriguing game. I actually like both pitchers. Now, you see a lot of red here for Amir Garrett. Remember that this is a very small sample size for the guy. And he also got blown up in Milwaukee. They left him out there for the Wolves, and he just got blown up. So when I'm looking at these stats, I got to remember that, right? I mean, a home run of 6 per 9. I think Eric Thames hit 2 off of him. I'm trying to remember who else did. So,
right, and we talk about the unlucky stats. Him the same way when you talk about his left on base percentage and his BABIP. Both say he's been getting unlucky. And besides that hard contact percentage, everything else looks good as far as strikeout rate and control and getting through games. I mean, there was just that one start. So
yeah, here's the thing with him that I think is interesting. So I think teams he's almost predictable in his last start of like, okay, 2 strikes, I'm gonna throw a slider or his changeup, whichever one he wants, right? And so teams were laying off of it, forcing him to throw inside the zone. And I don't think he felt comfortable throwing his slider for a strike yet. So it'll be interesting to see if he can adjust. The top of this Pittsburgh lineup is the only concern for me, and that's Harrison, Mercer, and McCutchen. Not so much from a power standpoint, but more so these guys get on base. Mercer has some power. Mercer does. And it's a hitter's park. But if they get on for McCutchen, that's the one guy that really concerns me.
I think he's going to get some ownership today. He's the second cheapest guy on DraftKings. He's got Kershaw on the slate. I think, I don't know, people are sharper than we think, so.
It's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out then, because on FanDuel, he's very mid-tier. And I think he's going to be extremely low-owned. You have Garrett Cole on the other side, who I think is a safer play. You have Severino 8.5, Garrett's at 7.5. You still have Kershaw, who's going to get heavy ownership. He always does. And then with Garrett, you know that because so many people are going to be on Kershaw, at least on FanDuel, your higher price stacks are not going to be in play. So you're going to be contrarian in itself just by playing Garrett because you're going to be able to afford higher bats.
Yeah, and I think from an ownership perspective, when you're comparing to Garrett, I think on FanDuel, I haven't looked at the pricing, but or a lot I have. I just don't have it committed to memory. But if Garrett's in a similar price range of Vargas and Severino, I think he's going to be low owned. On DraftKings, where he's the second cheapest guy at 5,500 on a Kershaw slate, when you have to have 2 pitchers, I think for sure he's going to have a lot of ownership today. I really do.
That's crazy that he's 5,500 on DraftKings. He's 75 on FanDuel.
Right. So totally different site thing, management as far as ownership with Amir Garrett today. I like this 1 through 3 again. I don't have it anywhere, but if I wanted to one-off, I think I could go Mercer or McCutchen. Shortstop is kind of slim today.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I
like Votto a lot though.
Yeah, I think there's K upside in both these guys. If you look at Garrett Cole in the reverse, obviously not a hard contact guy, not a fly ball guy, doesn't give up a lot of home runs. So you put him in a pitcher's park, you may want to look at that.
Hitter's park.
He's in a hitter's park, but he doesn't give up a lot of, hard contact, fly balls, home runs. So something's got to give there, is what I'm saying. So it's going to be interesting.
As far as rostering him, and I mean, from that perspective, playing against him, I don't know how much I like that, because he really doesn't give up the fly ball or the home run. But rostering him, when looking at strikeout rate, Cincinnati on the season versus righties is a bottom or a top 5 team, meaning that they strike out one of the 5 fewest teams in striking out versus righties. And then you look at their swinging strike rate, meaning that they don't swing and miss a lot. They're actually the best team in baseball versus righties at making contact. So
Yeah, they're pretty middle of the pack in the last 7 games.
Yeah, in the best 7, I have 14th. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying, over the course of the season, there's some red there. So I think that's enough to take me off of Garrett Cole's strikeouts upside.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I had Garrett Cole in my player pool today, so I'm not opposed to that play at all. Jason says, and this is true, Billy Hamilton, when he gets on base versus Garrett Cole, he has 10 stolen bases in
Really?
or 6 stolen bases in 10 times he's gotten on, something to that extent. So essentially,
Interesting why they have I'm sorry, go ahead.
Essentially, when he gets on, he steals a base. So if you think Billy Hamilton's going to get on today, you're looking at 9 points automatically.
Right, or 8 on DraftKings. Peraza and Kozart looks like a little bit of a flip-flop there. It's interesting.
They've been running this past couple days.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Votto's the one-off. I'm not, maybe Schebler, but that's all I'm really looking at today. I think like 1 through 3, I'm off these 2 pitchers on DraftKings. I think you can make the case on Garrett for FanDuel, and then yeah.
I'm all over Garrett. Garrett's my pitcher of the day, especially on FanDuel. He's going to be low owned, and at least on FanDuel, I think he is, because I hear so many podcasts talking of Severino and Kershaw. I just don't know that a lot of people go to Garrett. And given recency bias, things like that. So 10 stolen bases on 6 base reaches. Thank you, Tom.
I'm honestly even curious to see what his ownership is on DraftKings after that blow up.
That's what I'm saying.
I could be wrong.
Going to be very interesting. I mean, the fact that he has such high upside for so cheap on DraftKings is really interesting.
And it's a Kershaw, so that's the biggest thing.
That's what you're going to need a really cheap pitcher. If it was anyone else, you'd probably get lower ownership, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tampa and Miami. You got Jake Odorizzi and Chen.
Chen, right. So, we want to talk first here. I think, obviously, platoon, Ricky Weeks, he is always cheap at his platoon price. Always bats cleanup. Interesting that it's a different lineup, I think, versus lefties than they've been putting out.
They always run Steven Souza Jr. leadoff, which is interesting why he's second now. But
right. And Dickerson, I thought usually batted 5th with there's no Longoria. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a shakeup in the lineup. I don't know. I buy into that some from a batter's perspective. I know we've talked about that. People moving in the lineup can be a positive or a negative. Have a positive or negative correlation. I don't know. There's not really much that I'm looking here on Tampa that I feel confident in. I think Beckham and Weeks, for their prices are good plays. We talked about shortstop being somewhat slim.
I love Beckham today.
So, yeah, you can definitely go there.
Love Beckham. Personally running Carlos Correa, but I love Beckham today as a one-off. You talk about the splits are real with Chen. I mean, giving up over 3 times as many home runs to righties as he does lefties. So,
yeah. Chen's a contact pitcher. He does not have a strikeout upside, but he is most likely playing the best team to target as far as strikeouts if you look at the numbers versus lefties. The Rays have the highest strikeout percentage over the course of the season, and they're top 5 in the last 7 games as well. So, I'm sorry, top 10 in the last 7 games as well. And they also, if you look at swinging strike rate, which I'm looking at more and more, they're tops in the league versus lefties as well over the course of the season. So, obviously, he's not a strikeout pitcher, but he's facing a team that he can strike out, or has proven to strike out versus lefties. Somewhat of a pitcher's ballpark. Can you make the case for Chen?
I think you can. I mean, if you want to talk about K potential, there's not a lot, but you do. I mean, something's got to give, right, in terms of this team swings and misses at a lot of pitches. So, in line for maybe a slight increase to his average. I don't play him. It's too hard for me to target. I talk about it all the time. I hate targeting contact pitchers. I just don't do it.
Yeah, he is a contact pitcher. The numbers I have here does show some efficiency as far as, getting late and deep into games, but I don't know. I think I could go either way with that pick. I don't think there's anybody really around him that I like better. I think you can make that case as far as price. But when you're making 1 or 2 lineups, he's definitely not even in consideration.
I do like this 4-5-6 from Miami, though. against Odorizzi.
Yep, definitely, man. I think I want Stanton in a lineup if I'm making 5. That's like a one-off. He's kind of due, isn't he?
Definitely. I mean, he had a little streak going, pulled down, so we'll see what happens there. All right, here is an interesting play today, man. I've heard some people are on Julio Teheran. I can't do it. Personally, I'm 100% off him. His splits are real, man. He struggles versus lefties. It's not even close.
It's really not even close. If you look at the stats, they're not good.
No, his strikeouts are 2.5 less per 9 against lefties. Home run of over almost 2 times more, and a WOBA of 100 points higher, 90 points higher versus lefties and righties. So you talk about a lefty-filled lineup here for the Mets. I'm on the entire outfield. Conforto, Bruce, Granderson. I like Walker. If you're going to complete that Mets stack, you can look at Reyes if you want to. He's swung the bat a little better. And I know these stats are not truly reflective because Atlanta is playing in a new ballpark. This place loves left-handed hitters.
Yeah, you can hit him out to right here. It's going to be nice down there, I'm sure.
73 degrees.
Now, if anybody is on Teheran, his numbers have proven, that his strikeout upside is not what it was in his career. All of his strikeout numbers this season are well below career averages. He's walking a ton. He's at a 12% walk rate, which is extremely bad. Just shows lack of control. I mean, the hard contact percentage shows that perhaps people aren't seeing him as well as the other numbers say. But I don't know. I'm on a Met stack. I'm not really going to play Teheran. Who did you mention? I like Conforto and Bruce. If I'm going to go 2-man, I think you can really go Cabrera to Granderson, or even even Jose Reyes, man. Jose Reyes has been really hot.
That's what I'm saying.
And
he's been beaten up.
He's been playing very well.
Jason says Teheran destroys the Mets every time. I don't know, man. Part of me just think with all this news surrounding the Mets, it's going to go one of 2 ways. They're either going to implode or they're going to ball out today.
Right, yeah, true.
I think given the matchup with the numbers, I get behind them going off today. So I'm all on a Mets. I have one lineup today. I'm running one lineup, and all 3 outfielders are the Mets. Granderson is my under the radar play today in terms of the dude's 2.4.
Yeah, what's his price?
2.4 on FanDuel.
Wow. Yeah, dude, that has to be in your lineups. I'm thinking if you're just going to play one guy. Again, we talked about people hitting him out to right. That's pretty much what he does. He's got an insane uppercuts type swing. Looking up his price on DraftKings for you guys.
And like I said, I'm not.
Granderson's at 3.5, so.
Yep, Granderson has been extremely cold. I agree with you, man. I'm not saying he's an all-star. I'm just. He's my play today. He's the guy that I think is going to have a good game for this Mets outfield. If I have to pick.
But then again, I think, I don't know. I like Bruce and Conforto though. They've been playing really well.
I have all 3.
So you're saying if you wanted to pick one out of the 3, you're picking Granderson?
It depends.
I don't know if I
price.
could say that.
Depends on price.
He's more expensive than Bruce and Conforto on DraftKings.
I don't know how, but on FanDuel it's not even close. He's $1,100 cheaper.
So yeah, on DraftKings it's $35 for Granderson, $33 for Bruce, $32 for Conforto, which are all cheap.
I go Conforto.
They're all very cheap.
I go Conforto.
Yeah.
But
I have Bruce and Conforto, I think, in most of my lineups.
My Met stack is Conforto, Bruce, Walker, Granderson. And another guy to watch for is TJ Rivera. Down at that 8-hole. Perfectly capable.
I like that call.
Perfectly capable of popping one out.
Yeah, I like this stack today too.
Jason says Bruce is one of the best plays on the slate. Yeah, he's going to be mad chalk. So from a tournament perspective, if you want to buy, that's why I love Granderson, man, from a GPP standpoint.
Reyes has been, Bruce has been crushing righties this season.
That's what I'm saying. So he's going to be mad chalk today in Atlanta. On the flip, Freddie Freeman. Give me Freddie Freeman, man. I'm all on Freddie Freeman against Giselle.
Yep. Yeah, against Ciarte too. I think why not? If you're going to play Freeman, put him in. And Ciarte has been hot as well. And like you said, there's an extreme. Wow, he's been really hot. Yep. And Ciarte has 5 straight double digits fantasy games going on right now. And his price dropped somehow on DraftKings to 3,700, which is very cheap for NCRT.
Austin says,
Actually,
what do we think of Neil Walker? Yeah, we're on Neil Walker, and then Envious. Yeah, we talked about Reyes. He's a very nice player.
Yeah, he's him and NCRT are probably the two hottest people in this
game.
You can make the case for Conforto too.
Yeah.
In this game, but yeah, I think that you said you make the case the narrative that the Mets just blow up, man. They can't handle the pressure, and I mean, there's definitely that. I mean, they've not been playing well, so it could happen again.
Like I said, it's going to either be an implode or an explode, one of the two. This is the
I can't read the chat, by the way, so if there's any questions for me,
I'll let you know.
I can probably get it on my phone, actually.
Philly and Chicago, the one game that does look to have some concern. It looks like it's scattered showers that will quickly pass, is what I'm seeing in reports, so I don't think it's a postponed threat. You might see some in-game delays, so for that reason, I worry about the pitchers. Now, here is the flip side to that. Remember that the numbers generated are based on the starting pitcher. So if these pitchers go 2 innings, get into a delay, and they don't come back out, you're now facing the bullpen, and that could be a completely different animal.
Yeah, and so it could be a better thing. It could be a worse thing. So what I like to do in these sort of rain-concerned games, I look for the players that are hot regardless, of handedness or matchup, because, it could work out, and it could be working in your favor as far as weather isn't a concern, or it could not, and you at least have a hot player in your lineup. So that's why I kind of like Rizzo today. I think, again, on a Kershaw slate, Rizzo's going to be really low-owned, especially with weather concerns as well. You're going to get him super cheap or super contrarian today.
I love the Cubs 1 through 3 today.
Yeah, that too.
Against Vince Velasquez, home run, potential to get blown up with the home runs. Has high K potential as well, but we haven't seen him really show that yet this year. He's been more so just giving up home runs. So,
yep.
On the Philly side, I don't think I look too much at anyone here. Maybe Aaron Altier and Mikael Franco are two guys that I look at. But other than that,
yeah, I wish Tommy Joseph's bat would wake up. You can't really play him, so he's like trying to hit with bomb too hard.
Damian Porter says Giselman has a K per 9 of 10 versus left-handed bats. Any concern? I'm not playing Giselman, but it doesn't scare me off of Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, let's see what his numbers are. I really didn't look too deep into Giselman.
Vince Velasquez has a K per 9 of 10.4 versus righties, but that's not going to scare me off with Chris Bryant. So
Giselman has 2 games over 5 strikeouts in his 6 starts.
For what it's worth, Mike, also, Tommy just mentioned this, and I don't know how I missed it. Cameron Rupp batting 8th. These splits are very, very nice, man. He's got...
Yeah, he hits the ball hard when he gets it turned around.
So, versus a lefty, and wind is blowing out to center. So, there's that factored in.
Now, Rupp, I think, he's another guy that I'm somewhat still concerned about. There's a reason he's batting 8th, and like I said, when he makes contact with the ball, it generally goes a long way. It's just, I don't know.
He hasn't been hot to start this year, let's say that.
Yeah, he hasn't really done much. They've been finding reasons to not take him out of the lineup instead of the other way around.
All right, you got Andrew Kashner and Lance McCullers. Lance McCullers, clearly we know, is a home pitcher. The splits are real with him as well. Where do you look to roster him again, against Texas today? We do know that the power in their lineup is from the lefties.
Yeah, it is kind of strange that he's a home pitcher in a ballpark that favors
hitters.
So I think, it's only small sample size. I think that will eventually regress, as far as home away splits. I think McCullers is the upside pitcher that is the pivot off Kershaw today. I think Kashner is probably the worst pitcher on the slate, and I want to target him. That's where I'm at with this game.
Stack. All over Houston stack.
I like McCullers if people are on Kershaw, and I like cashing in off some Kashner.
We have 5 guys in the Astros lineup that have an ISO over 200 in this split.
Yeah, I think McCann is probably one of the best catcher one-offs of the day. I like Altuve and Correa, just obviously if you can afford them.
And you
Again, those are two guys that probably aren't going to be able to get afforded today if people are going straight up Kershaw.
That's what I'm saying, dude. So I have a full Astros stack, and I have a full New York Mets stack. My Astros are the infield. I got Altuve, Correa, Gurriel, and then Brian McCann at catcher. And then, like I said, I have the entire Mets outfield.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have Brian McCann and Altuve in every lineup, and I have one with Correa and Beltran, and went like a 4-man and one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
So that's where I'm at. I think I like McCullers today, so for that reason, I'm not really on these Texas bats. Mizar's been cold. Gallo is still Gallo. I mean, he can pop a home run with ease, so that's always a concern. Odor starting to heat up a little bit, so something to watch for there. And then Shin-Soo Choo as well is always a threat as a lefty.
Yeah, Carlos Gomez playing well. But yeah, McCullers, man, I think if you look at what Texas does as far as strikeouts in the last 7 games, they're third in the league versus righties strikeout percentage-wise. Meaning they strike out the third most in the last 7 games. Top 10 over the course of the season in both K percentage and swinging strike rate as well. So obviously you got a strikeout pitcher facing a team that's in the top 10 and striking out. So
I think this is going to be an interesting play today, Mike. And I don't think people are looking at him at all. And it's Michael Wacha.
Yep, he's definitely on my radar.
So he's a reverse split guy. His WOBA is 70 points lower versus lefties, and he's a right-handed pitcher. He gives up more than twice as many home runs to righties as he does lefties. But he has a lower K per 9. So what that is telling me is that he pitches to contact versus lefties. He's just trying to get them out, and he's throwing it down in the zone. He's not giving up that home run.
Yeah, speaking on those contact numbers, if you look at this, he actually is above average in his contact percentage and the percentage of swings that make contact. So meaning that he does pitch to contact, and he also has a hard contact percentage of only 20.6% this year.
Wow.
So that's really really nice. So if you had a contact pitcher that only is not, or bats aren't making hard contact on, that's kind of where you want to go. Those pitchers we've seen can be very efficient as far as pitch count, and that can work out to your favor in DFS. And then you also have Milwaukee, who does strike out a ton. Now, he's like you said, he's not really a big K per 9 guy, but he's not terrible either. So
that's exactly the reason I look at it is, so I want to mitigate the left-handed power in this lineup, right? Thames and Shaw. Wacha shows that through the years he's been able to do that, but he also has K upside versus righties, 8 per 9, right? That's okay for me. And then you talk about some K guys, Domingo Santana, Aguilar has not had a good start to the year, so Keon Broxton can strike out. So there are some guys on this team that are perfectly capable of striking out, and if he can mitigate the left-handed power of Thames and Shaw, I think you take a ton of potency off the board for this Milwaukee team. And it doesn't surprise me that their implied run total is so low.
Nope. No, I totally agree with you, man. Again, just like I spoke about with Chen, I think a contact pitcher that is playing a team that strikes out a lot can be a good DFS play. Now Wacha has some strikeout upside more than Chen, so he's probably a better play when you're looking at those profile type of pitchers. But I think both those guys, low. So I think both these guys are interesting to me.
I like Wacha a lot more than Chen personally, but
so do I.
You factor in the fact that it's a really cold game. I think there's a lot to like with Wacha. He's going to be really low owned, I think, on both sides. What's his price on DraftKings?
7,200.
So is that
very fair?
That's pretty mid tier, right? Like no one's.
So you got the price range is Vargas is 7,400, which I think people will be on him. So I think Wacha would be the primary pivot off of Vargas today.
I see Wacha is 8K on FanDuel. So the guys around him, Dylan Bundy, I could see him garnering the ownership. Amir Garrett is at 7.5, and then Luis Severino's at 8.5 and Marco Estrada's at 8.3. So to me, I think people look right past Waka and just look at the Severinos and the Vargases and whatnot. So.
Yep, totally agree, man. I like that call for sure.
Do you look at any St. Louis bats versus Zach Davies? Matt Carpenter comes to mind for me.
Yeah, I think I looked at the home run numbers for I couldn't decide with these numbers. I looked at the home run numbers and who did that put me onto? Grichuk.
Randall Grichuk. Okay.
I have Grichuk in a lineup, I believe.
Not opposed to that play at all. Not opposed to that play at all. But I like Carpenter as a one-off in this game. His bat's been hot too. Chicago and Kansas City. So Chicago just blew up Jason Vargas. They've been killing left-handed pitching. Do they repeat?
I kind of didn't know where to go in this game. This was one of those games where I looked at Kansas City, obviously been struggling. You can't lie with what Vargas has done this year. And, I mean, as much as the bats have woken up, I mean, we saw Vargas be super chalk against the White Sox last time he went out and got blown up, right? So, but then again, this game, again, we talk about the weather. I guess it's super cold. Covey is really, really bad. I don't know, man. I just found myself there's really no, like, I wanted to find places to go, and then I just didn't have anybody.
It's fair. No, I'm not. This is pretty much a game fade for me. I'm not playing Vargas, not versus what this team has done versus lefties recently and just destroyed him. Definitely not playing Covey. No interest there at all. As far as Kansas City goes, there's no one that I want to stack against Covey, really.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think we'd be trying to go right after Covey, but this team has just been so bad, man.
I guess if there's a day to stack Kansas City, it's today.
Today.
Almost a 5-run implied total. But
the thing with Abreu and Frazier, yeah, their bats woken up, but I still don't really feel super confident about attacking Vargas.
I can make the case for Abreu and Frazier all day. Those are my two. If I'm going to do a two-man stack.
But again, I think that's definitely a multiple lineup consideration. I don't think that's jumping off the page for me right now. So, yeah.
So, Steve makes a good point. Covey is terrible versus right-handed hitting. That is, shown.
He's been getting a crap load of home runs, man.
And doesn't strike anybody out. So there's not really any upside here at all.
I guess Perez would be the guy.
A guy you can look at that is interesting to me is Jorge Bonifacio. He's a right-handed hitter, I believe. Batting 6th. Even if he's I can't remember if he's a lefty or righty. I believe he's a righty.
Yeah, I can see that. Cheap one-off if you got some too expensive pitchers on DraftKings. I'd get behind that. Definitely get behind a Kansas City stack for cheap if you wanted to be super contrarian. I really don't think people are going to be on him, even though they've got probably the best pitching matchup,
Who?
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Do you think this Kansas City stack's going to be high owned against versus Covey, since Covey's just really been proven to be that bad?
Are they a cheap stack on DraftKings? I could see him maybe pairing it with the Kershaw.
Yeah, I imagine they're cheap. I think Perez is probably not cheap. Let's see. Nope, that's not the right game. Kansas City. Yeah, Perez isn't cheap. He's the same price as Brian McCann, actually. Hosmer's not cheap. Moustakas is pretty cheap, actually. $3,400 for him. Who did you just mention? Bonifacio, $3,100 for him.
Yeah.
I think I'd just rather play Conforto at $32,
Yeah, that makes sense. On DraftKings for sure. Conforto's not cheap on FanDuel. Okay, so we got this last game, San Fran and Los Angeles. San Fran is a heavy underdog. Obviously, you got Clayton Kershaw, chalk of the slate, always will be, facing a Giants lineup that has struggled, to say the least. And the lineup they put out today, there's not much to like. So
Yeah, it's like the only late game too, right?
yeah, it starts.
So
2
it's
hours.
intriguing. It makes me want to have like a play, just to have somebody left if I'm sweating. But you're gonna twist my arm to get one in my lineup, man. On either side of this, I mean, I think obviously the Dodgers would be where I want to go, and not really stacking against Kershaw, but
I like the Dodgers for a GPP stack. I kind of like Seager. Bellinger is still cheap on FanDuel.
Didn't Turner have a pinch hit home run yesterday?
Yep.
Yeah, so he's fired up, I would imagine.
Yep, definitely Turner.
Grandal, I think he plays better from the left side, if my memory serves me correctly. Cody Bellinger got his one out of the way. I think he could be. Let's see what his price is, actually. Kind of like that one off.
Jason says Morse batting fifth. Let me just put another 20 locks on Kershaw.
Right?
Yeah, there's not a lot to like about this Giants lineup.
I mean, if you're betting on this game, I think you got obviously Kershaw to win, right? But I don't know. You look at strikeout upside. San Francisco's not really a plus matchup as far as strikeout potential. Not saying that Kershaw can have 12 Ks versus anybody, but you know what I mean. Like if you're basing it off the rest of the league, like if this is a plus or a minus matchup as far as K potential, this would.
I mean, Kershaw's still Kershaw, right? I think he can go out and get his 45
That's what I'm saying.
points, no issue.
You can have 12 Ks against anybody, but if you're valuing the numbers, this.
True, and on the flip though, we know the Giants didn't strike out a lot last year. Their lineup's almost completely different. Morse strikes out. Drew Stubbs strikes out a ton. Gorkys Hernandez, we don't have a lot on. Christian Arroyo, we don't have a lot on. So it's not as much of a contact hitting team as we had last year.
I hear you.
I don't know. I can see it. So I don't see any issue with playing Kershaw.
Oh no, me neither. The only issue is his ownership, and
I'm not playing.
It's obviously a good chalk.
I'm not playing him. I
don't have him either, honestly. I have McCullers and Waka everywhere.
Yeah, I never pay up for Kershaw, and I've done fine before, but I can see the chalk.
I have McCullers and Waka in all my lineups.
Interesting. I was surprised. Did you just go Waka, or were you on him before I?
Nope, I was on him.
Damn it. So yeah, Waka.
What do you mean, damn it?
I didn't know. I thought I put you on him. I always have like that. I always have like that one pitcher that I think is going to do really well that no one's on. Surprised you had Waka.
Yeah, the numbers helped. The numbers were saying if I was going to pay down, it was to go to him or Chen, and if I was going to pay up, to go to Kershaw, McCullers, or Severino, and because I knew the other two would be the chalk on McCullers.
That's fair. So all right, give me your top, as usual, top three pitchers.
Yeah, so I think we eliminating Kershaw from this. Obviously, I think Kershaw's the number one pitcher on the slate.
Well, point per dollar. Kershaw may not be the highest point per dollar. He may score the most points, but for his price, is he going to be the best player?
All right, fine. I'll go McCullers, Severino, and Waka.
Okay. I think Kershaw balls out again today, of course. I don't think he pays off his price tag. So, for that reason, of course, I fade. I'm on Garrett as my number one pitcher. I got Waka, and then I have Garrett Cole, actually, on the flip.
Yeah, Garrett Cole got me paid last time he went out, so I don't mind that.
Those are my three pitchers. All right, three stacks, and who's in it?
The Mets. I like the Mets stack. Obviously, I have Conforto, Bruce. I think you can go Asdrubal Cabrera in that 1, 2, 3, or if you want to. I also like 3 through Reyes, wherever he's at. I think 6, right?
He's 6th. Yep.
So I think you can go Walker and
Walker, Bruce.
Maybe
Walker.
I fade the 5th guy.
Bruce
I don't
Walker,
know who that is.
Granderson.
Okay, yeah, Granderson, then Reyes. Yeah, I like that.
And then what?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's only one, wasn't it?
Damn it.
Sorry. I like the Astros. The Astros is the next where I'm going. I'm going to stack against Andrew Kashner. I like Ryan McCann, Carlos Beltran. Altuve and Correa.
Yep.
I think those guys will be low owned today. And then for a contrarian sort of stack, let's go with the Yanks. I'll go Gardner, Gregorius. I like that top two there, and also I like Ellsbury through Bird.
Fair enough.
Here's Castro. Yeah, let's go with the Yanks for the contrarian stack. I don't know if people will be on them.
So my three favorite stacks are the Mets of Bruce, Conforto, Granderson, and Walker. I love the Astros of Altuve, Correa, McCann, and Gurriel, actually. And then my contrarian stack is the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm going to stack against Severino in one lineup.
All right. I obviously can't do that. That would be disrespectful to my allegiance.
You see, that's the problem with you Yankee fans, is you guys let your fandom get in the way. I have zero problem. Like, I'll tell you guys.
There's plenty other ways. There's plenty other plays that I can go. It's not like.
Dude, I just can't do it, man. I find myself less and less of a Giants fan anymore. I'm just a DFS player.
I'm just not playing against Severino right now.
If the Giants are gonna win me money, I'll play them. If playing against them is gonna win me money, by all means. Because I looked at the Dodgers stack hard tonight, so.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to put one in my lineup. I'm fixing a lineup right now to get a Dodger stack. I took my Mets stack out of one of my three to put a Dodger stack in.
Who's our favorite catcher? Mine is Brian McCann.
Yeah, I have Brian McCann every lineup. So hopefully he doesn't screw me over.
Truth.
Because I could see that happening. But the numbers say to play him, so I'm going to play him.
Chicago is pouring hard right now, according to these reports. So watch out for that. All you hear from the Yankee fans is 27 World Series, blah, blah, blah. I love it.
People have selective hearing is what it is.
Oh, I'm with Jason on this one, man. I can't stand Yankee fans.
Sorry. I'm not an arrogant Yankees fan, man. I know more about the Yankees than most. So you want to get in this stat battle, I'll do it any day. What? Being real.
I know. I love messing with you, Mike. It's too Yankee fans are so easy to irritate.
I'm not irritated at all right now, man. It's been fun.
Bellinger's still 2,200 on DraftKings. That's crazy. Any thoughts on Kemp and Gallardo? I can get behind Gallardo.
That's 2,200. That's wrong.
On FanDuel, yeah.
Whoever said that? On FanDuel, yes. You said DraftKings. He's 2,900.
Gallardo I like in the cleanup spot for St. Louis. I can get behind a Carpenter Gallardo stack.
Yeah, I have Grichuk in a lineup too, so what happens there.
Do a full stack there then. Yo, Justin Turner is down to 3,200 on FanDuel. I kind of like that.
He's super cheap. He's been super cheap on DraftKings too. Actually, no, he's up now. 39. They flip-flopped.
Grandal's down to 2,600.
Grandal.
I'm going to play Justin Smoke instead of Kendrys Morales.
Oh, look at you.
And I'm going to play Devon Travis. Being really different in this
I took Yorko out and put in Granderson. Same price.
Wow, this line is really, really easy.
Stack.
You can get Kershaw really, really easily with a Toronto and Dodgers stack. That's kind of scary.
Yikes.
Because I like that stack a lot. So you talk about being contrarian.
Then do it, man.
I'm not playing Kershaw. I can't do it.
You just out of principle, even if he fits?
Well, it does make me fade Jay Bruce, who I don't want to fade. So I'm going to go down to Garrett Cole. But I'm just going to I'm going to have a lot of money left on the table.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to go from Bellinger to Conforto. I'll do that. I like that call.
Thoughts on... Oh, I didn't say... I like Cleveland stack, too. I talked about the Encarnacion Ramirez Geyer thing. I have a Ramirez in a lineup and Encarnacion in a lineup.
Okay, I can get behind that. Matt H. I don't know who that is. Matt Holiday?
What's up, Matt H? Oh, I think you're saying Matt H has a question. Matt Holiday, yeah.
I'm guessing.
Been hot.
I'm guessing that's what he meant.
I don't know. I'm not super excited to play against Estrada, who's been having a pretty good year. But again, there was that injury concern a couple days ago, right? He left the game. So maybe he's a little thrown off. We've seen what happens with pitchers thrown off routine. I don't know. I can buy into it.
Fair.
Let's see here. So I think I'm set up, man. This is like first time in a while where my lineups are pretty set. Usually I jump. Well, I guess it's just this weekend since I've been running home and
doing work. Yeah.
Yeah, doing work.
Jose asked top of the lineup for Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's the one spot that works, man. It's the only
I don't have any there. I don't have anybody there either. I like it though. I like it. I could go Mercer over Didi in a lineup, but
we just talked about the other day about against Conley, right? Harrison, Mercer, McCutch, and those three all balled out. So
yeah, I might have to go. They're the same price, Didi Gregorius and Jordy Mercer. I mean, I'll stick with Didi. I'll just kind of, sticking with Didi over Mercer. I got Stanton somewhere. I got McCutcheon somewhere. And I got those two one-offs. I have Machado in 2 out of 3.
Don't have any Machado. I don't have any Orioles. So the lineup I made with this that Dodgers Toronto, I made Garrett Cole, Yasmani Grandal, Justin Smoke, Starlin Castro as a one-off. Actually, it's a two-man with Aaron Judge. Justin Turner, Corey Seager, Jose Batista, Jay Bruce, and I said Aaron Judge. So I'm trying to figure out if I want a third Blue Jay in there. Is Russell Martin starting today? He is. He's bad. Oh, he's not starting.
He got scratch.
Yeah, I don't know who on Toronto is worthy. Like who's stackable. You got to play Morales or Smoke, so there's that. Maybe Pilar.
Are you playing Carpenter today?
I do have Carpenter in the lineup. Yeah. I really don't want to. I don't want to fade Bruce because I think he's the best outfielder play on the Mets.
What are you trying to do? Who are you trying to fit in?
Pilar. I like Pilar leading off.
I don't know. Again, not really attacking. I guess Severino can blow up. He's just really been playing well.
Sam says Encarnacion. He sees him hitting 2 home runs today.
Who said that?
Sam in the chat.
I hope so. I'm debating between him and Carpenter right now as a one-off. They're the same price, pretty much. Oh, Carpenter's 42, Encarnacion's 41. I can even get behind Moreland at 39. I don't know.
No, I like
Carpenter
Moreland.
Carpenter, Encarnacion, or Moreland.
Personally, I like Carpenter, man. That's my guy at first base today.
I can go after Davies and Norris.
I like Freddie Freeman as well, but
he's too much. Well, he's not too much, but I don't have enough money for him.
Fair enough.
I have Votto as a one-off in a lineup. I guess I'll stick with the call.
One-off from third base. Justin Turner.
Jose Ramirez. Jose Reyes. Those are 2 guys that have been playing very well and have positive matchups.
Yeah.
As far as handedness.
I'm on Gurriel and Justin Turner.
Also, again, Machado. Just kind of playing the narrative there.
Yeah, this is nice weather, too, for the Giants-Dodgers game. 72 degrees at 7 o'clock at night.
What's the weather like in Boston?
In Boston, it is 52.
Yikes.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I don't know.
But Frazier, yeah, I like Frazier too, if you want to go there. So.
What else did I have written down? Third base. I wrote down. Oh, yeah, I did have Gurriel down. Frazier. Turner. We just talked. You said Turner. Yeah, I guess we did cover everybody I had written down. Cool.
All right. Well, we got 5 minutes.
Any other questions?
Lock.
Any last minute questions?
As always,
I see the lineup now.
As always, make sure you guys are following us on Twitter, Fantasy Phenom. Get you all the lineups as soon as they come out. Answer any questions. And if you guys would like to get access to these amazing sheets with the home run projections, the matchup WOBAs, all these splits, all these stats, you get the free 7-day trial, and then it's only $9.99 after that. We'll take care of you. You get into that amazing Slack group. So
24/7 DFS chat. Is that something that you're interested in? If this is a hobby of yours and you play every day, it is well worth it. Let me tell you, I guarantee you will go in there for the first 7 days and not only feel welcomed, but feel like you are becoming more aware of this hobby that you have. Not only that, but we're constantly working, Kyle and I think.
That's an understatement.
We are constantly working on coming up with new stuff, making this fun for you guys. We're trying to find a balance for making it fun, making it entertaining, while also bringing you like easy to understand research tools, kind of summarizing things and making it digestible. Whereas a lot of places in the industry, especially with baseball,
it's all just advanced stats thrown at you.
It's hard to look at. So we're doing our best to kind of bring that to you and bring a good balance of fun and smart.
Jason says, good luck. I think I might sub to the sheets. It just makes life so much easier for me researching and cuts down time. Hey, the sheets aren't even the best part, my man. The Slack group.
That's right. That's right. The sheets are just part of the Slack group, obviously.
The sheets are amazing, but that Slack group, man, that's where you get all that knowledge.
Yeah, I'll plug our free contest too. Obviously, we do a free contest, so if you stumbled upon this show, which I imagine you probably played DFS if you're watching this show, but if you haven't, we have a free contest. If you want to give it a shot, see what DFS is all about without spending any money on it. It's a cool thing that we offer, and it's not for nothing. We have like a scoring system, and you can accrue points toward the playoffs at the end of the season. So,
and
it makes it fun.
The winner gets something.
Get something awesome.
So,
do the same thing for NASCAR. I think we're working on it for golf. So, if you guys watch this for baseball and you want to try playing DFS, NASCAR, or golf, we'll have those free contests as well for same reasons.
Yeah. So, all right. Jason said, "Yeah, I've been in the free contest. I got 2nd and 4th. That's what's up, buddy."
What's up, man? In order to qualify for the playoffs, though, you got to be a phenom. So you can play all you want.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys again for tuning in. As always, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already to the YouTube channel. And to the sheets as well if you'd like. But we will see you guys in Slack. Thank you again. Have a wonderful and profitable Monday afternoon.